I'll come right back on.
Excellent. And we're going live now for those of you who I know I never do that, and Katie has to do it because I don't say it. So this is a meeting of the Early Childhood Subcommittee. We're going to vote on one bill and discuss two bills in concept today. The first bill we're going to vote on is Senate Bill 299, which is a cross-file to a bill that we have seen already. This is Brindley's Act, which is the bill that would create a training scenario for public school teachers, and even if they like private school teachers, that's optional for them to be how to deal and manage seizures. We have a few amendments that are in this. That we have This bill is not exactly like ours, and we are conforming amendments that we're going to put on their bill with ones that are going to put on ours in the Senate side. Alistair, would you like to tell what those amendments are real quickly?
Yes. So the House amendment is incredibly technical. The Senate moved a phrase in the Willful or Grossly Negligent Act section, which is subsection H at the very end of the bill. We're just going to restore that phrase to where it was, which is what the Senate did. The Senate left it where it was in our bill. Other than that, the Senate basically changed the bill in a very similar way to what we did. They just used different language. So it's the same thing where we specify who the two people who get the training are, specify that it's professional training to be reimbursed, specify that when everyone in the school is trained, that will count as professional development time. And
if you're one of our advocates, I think Dewana, it looks like you might not be muted.
Before I schedule your service call, I just need to gather additional
Ms.
details.
Durrett?
Okay.
Thank you. All right. And
sorry about that.
That's all right. It wasn't your fault.
So the Senate version also requires that just like the House version did, that Department of Health and MSDE develop the guidelines that people are trained in to recognize seizures. So very, very similar, just some slightly different language there.
A discussion on this one we can vote on because this one's been heard already. So is there any discussion on the amendments? All right. Do I hear a motion on the amendments? Anybody wants to unmute themselves? There. Thank you. Do I have a second? You just raised. There we go. Got a second. All in favor of the amendments? Raise your hands. We'll make it easy so you don't have to reach for your unmute button. Good. Delegate Wilkins, I can see your picture nodding at me. And on the bill as amended.
Move the bill.
I got a hand raise and a move favorable. So we're going to. Is there any further discussion? Okay, seeing none. All in favor of the bill as amended. Raise your hands, please.
Yes.
And I got Wilkins yelling in there. Very well. Okay, so that's done. We will not have to see that one again. Now, the other two bills, the bill that we have is Senate Bill 438 is the next bill. This is the bill that is the Young Readers Program that we passed. This bill is exactly in the form that we sent it over to them. So this Senate version conforms exactly to what we sent them. And so we just want to approve it so we can send it back over to them as well. Needs no amendment. And so I would take a motion on this bill. I see a hand up. That's a motion from Guyton and a second from Griffith. Now we cannot actually move on this bill. So remember how you're feeling right now. And when we get to the end of the hearing, I will call this bill for a vote and you can all vote on it then. All right. So it looks like generally I'm sensing that there's no objection or concern about this bill right now. And that is an ad hoc piece of information, but we'll get to it soon. So the next bill that we're going to consider is Senate Bill 705. This is the bill that is restraint and seclusion. Other than a sponsor problem on the House version, this is a pretty darn good bill. Many of us have worked quite hard to get this bill where it is. And I think we've got a good product here. And the Senate has sent it back to us. Alistair, what do we need to do to the Senate version?
So the Senate version needs an amendment, but I just, if I could just describe the differences between the Senate version and the version we sent. They're very similar in general. The Senate altered the definition of physical restraint, but did not alter the definition of seclusion as we did. The Senate amended all of juvenile services education from the requirements of physical restraint and seclusion, but they're still required to do the reporting requirements in the bill and to try positive behavioral interaction. The House version only exempted them. I think I said amended before, excuse me. Right, exempted them from the seclusion piece. Additionally, the Senate put some greater specificity into the reporting requirements for if a child is restrained 10 or more times or secluded 10 or more times. The House version required that be reported to either the County Board of Education or the State Department of Education, depending on where the incident took place. The Senate version clarifies that be no longer than 4 business days after the 10th incident. And additionally, the Senate version requires that if you reach that level or if a school is out of compliance with the subtitle, then they'll have to immediately submit a evidence-based corrective action plan to the State Department of Education to show how they're going to comply with the subtitle in the future. So
the version of our bill that they're sending back over has that in it, right? They also left in a paragraph we put in, which sort of didn't use the word exclusion, but separated the concept of seclusion and exclusion by saying what seclusion is not. Basically, it was a definition of what exclusion is so that we would understand. It had to do with a student being aware of and being able to get out of a room. That was the main part of it. If they're put somewhere, that's not seclusion, that's exclusion. So
they're
sending it over with that one, right?
Yeah, so the amendment is just doing that, adding that seclusion definition to make sure that it doesn't include exclusion, and also just fixing a couple drafting errors.
Does anybody have any questions about those amendments? Because there was a handful of them, so there might be some. Okay, I don't see any. So what I'm going to assume is that with nobody having any questions or any serious objections, if we bring that amendment to you after the hearing, we can move on the amendment and then move on the bill. And so just like I said, we'll just ask you all. I know some of you are in the Senate, do your best. If we can get 4 people there, we'll be fine. I feel like we brought it before the subcommittee, so that's the important part. And we'll make sure that we'll make sure that the vote goes the way that the committee feels. And I think that's it, Alistair. That's it, right? It's it for today. We got a couple more coming, but we got to get them a little bit in order. If you have any questions about any of the bills we've seen or Senate ones that are coming back over, you are the subcommittee. Please come and ask me, and I'll tell you where we are on them. If there's something that somebody's bugging you about and saying, hey, this bill where is this bill? Why is it stuck? Find me. Okay, we'll do that offline. Thank you all very much for your flexibility, and I'll see you at the hearing and briefly afterwards. Cheers, everyone.